Good day, this is the Professor, CBMG PhD, and today is Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. It is 8:45 and 16 seconds, p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and today's research, Discord. So let's hop to it here. Psychiatric disorders are not medical diseases. There are no lab tests, brain scans, x-rays, or chemical imbalance tests that can verify any mental disorder is a physical condition. This is not to say that people do not get depressed or that people can't experience emotional or mental duress, but psychiatry has repackaged these emotions and behaviors as disease in order to sell drugs. This is a brilliant marketing campaign, but it is not science. Modern psychiatry has yet to convincingly prove the genetic biologic cause of any single mental illness. Patients have been diagnosed with chemical imbalances despite the fact that no tests exist to support such a claim, and there is no real conception of what a correct chemical balance would look like. All psychiatrists have in common that when they are caught on camera or on microphone, they cower and admit that there are no such things as chemical imbalances, diseases, or examinations or tests for them. What they do in practice, lying in every instance, abrogating, revoking the informed consent right of every patient, and poisoning them in the name of treatment, is nothing short of criminal. Psychiatry makes unproven claims that depression, bipolar illness, anxiety, alcoholism, and a host of other disorders are in fact primarily biologic and probably genetic in origin. This kind of faith in science and progress is staggering, not to mention naive and perhaps delusional. While there has been no shortage of alleged biochemical explanations for psychiatric conditions, not one has been proven. Quite the contrary, in every instance where such an imbalance was thought to have been found, it was later proven false. The theories are held on to, not only because there is nothing else to take their place, but also because they are useful in promoting drug treatment. There is no blood or other biological test to ascertain the presence or absence of a mental illness, as there is for most bodily diseases. If such a test would develop, then the condition would cease to be a mental illness, and would be classified instead as a symptom of bodily disease. I believe until the public and psychiatry itself see that DSM labels are not only useless as medical diagnosis, but also have the potential to do great harm, particularly when they are used as a means to deny individual freedoms or as weapons by psychiatrists acting as hired guns for the legal system. No biochemical, neurologic, or genetic markers have been found for attention deficit disorder, oppositional defiant disorder, depression, schizophrenia, anxiety, compulsive alcohol and drug abuse, overeating, gambling, or any other so-called mental illness, disease, or disorder. Unlike medical diagnoses that convey a probable cause, appropriate treatment, and likely prognosis, the disorders listed in DSM-4 are terms arrived at through pure consensus. Psychiatry's diagnostic criteria are literally voted into existence and inserted into the American Psychiatric Association Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders, DSM. What is voted in is a system of classification of symptoms that is drastically different from and foreign to anything in medicine. None of the diagnoses are supported by objective evidence of physical disease, illness, or science. There are no objective tests in psychiatry, no x-ray, laboratory, or exam finding that says definitively that someone does or does not have a mental disorder. DSM-4 is a fabrication upon which psychiatry seeks acceptance by medicine in general. Insiders know it is more of a political than scientific document. DSM-4 has become a Bible and a money-making bestseller, its major failings notwithstanding. The way things get into the DSM is not based on blood tests or brain scan or physical findings. It is based on descriptions of behavior, and that is what the whole psychiatry system is. We can manufacture enough diagnostic labels of normal variability of mood and thought that we can continually supply medication to you. But when it comes to manufacturing disease, nobody does it like psychiatry. In short, the whole business of creating psychiatric categories of disease, formalizing them with consensus, and subsequently ascribing diagnostic codes to them, which in turn leads to their use for insurance billing, is nothing but an extended racket furnishing psychiatry a pseudo-scientific aura. The perpetrators are, of course, feeding at the public trough. Psychiatrists can't predict what adverse side effects you might experience because not one of them knows how their drugs work. Psychotropic drugs are increasingly being exposed as chemical toxins with the power to kill. Psychiatrists claim their drugs save lives, but according to their own studies, psychotropic drugs can double the risk of suicide, and long-term use has been proven to create a lifetime of physical and mental damage, a fact ignored by psychiatrists. Common and well-documented side effects of psychiatric drugs include mania, psychosis, hallucinations, depersonalization, suicidal ideation, heart attack, stroke, and sudden death. And this video was created for educational purposes only. Hope you enjoyed listening. My code name is Will. I'm Professor Christopher Brunette, leader of research scientist ufologist, psychic computer technician, computer programmer, philanthropist, writer, mathematician, artist, photographer, film producer, chef, animal, and nature lover. My passion is world peace. Have a great day. Good day. This is the Professor, CBMG PhD.